Now it is my distinct pleasure to just really thank all of our sponsors who made this possible. You do see that they're on the table groups, but I would like to mention them all where we can just recognize them at the end. But we have our legacy sponsor, Alamitos Eye Care. We have Clean Wave Express Car Wash, RS Crum Incorporated, Epson, which just moved into our community. We're happy to be able to have them. West Group Designs, which has been helping us design many of our buildings that we'll talk about a little bit later. Pac West, which has helped us with our battery and energy storage. Edward Jones. Erickson Hall is the wonderful construction company erecting the beautiful building at the high school. Southland Credit Union, who just partners with everyone in this community. And then Racklin Architects, who's been a long-standing partner of ours, who's helped us through a lot of the modernizations and ongoing. Let's give a big round of applause to all of our sponsors. And now I'd like to call up our Executive Director of LAIF, who's really sponsoring this event, Ms. Carrie Logue.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pulver. It is our honor to help coordinate and put on this event. And I just wanted to say a few words about LAIF and what we do in our community. So we are the nonprofit 501c3 partner of Los Alamitos Unified School District. And our goal is to enhance educational excellence and prepare every child in our district for college and beyond. And we couldn't do that without the tremendous support of our community. And as Dr. Pulver mentioned, our legacy sponsor for this event, who has been the top sponsor since the inception, is Alamitos Eye Care. In addition to Alamitos Eye Care, our top sponsors today at the valedictorian level are Epson, Clean Wave Express Car Wash, and RS Crum Incorporated. So a huge shout out to you guys for stepping up in such a significant way. And we are proud to be the district's partner in education, and LAIF would not be what it is without the tremendous support of our volunteer board of directors. So our board chair is Mr. Tom Lent, and yes, with Southland Credit Union, extra plug. I'd like to invite anyone who's a current board member with LAIF, an advisor to our board, or a board member emeritus to stand and be recognized for all your volunteerism and support. So LAIF is known for our after-school and summer enrichment programs, which are a pleasure to provide to our community, but we also give back in several significant ways. And our STEAM initiative has been around for quite a long time, and we've been able to directly donate to our district to the tune of $325,000 since 2015. And even this past year through the pandemic, we were able to give $5,000 to each school to support STEAM education. And on top of that, mental health, as already mentioned by Mrs. Davidson, has been a focus for LAIF since 2017, and we've been able to donate $135,000, including $60,000 for the construction of the middle school well spaces, which we were so happy to officially cut the ribbon on, like last month, even though they've been functioning now for a year or so. And the only reason why we can do that is because of support from our community. Donations make these things happen. And so we have an incredibly important group called the Los Al Leadership Circle, and they're our major donor group. And so many of the members are here today. So if you're a Leadership Circle member, raise your hand because you can say, yeah, I did this. I did all that STEAM, all that mental health, because our donors make it happen. And we're always looking for new members, by the way. So talk to me or any LAIF staff member if you want more information on joining that amazing group and making these things happen. So we do a big fundraising campaign every year. Last year it looked a little different. It became Fundraising February because we couldn't hold a gala for obvious reasons. But through that campaign, we still wanted to honor a royal. And our current reigning king is Dr. Greg Stone. Please stand. And I hope most of you know that he stepped in to take over the leadership of the high school and did a fabulous job in an incredibly difficult year. And he sent a weekly email that always ended with, be well, and stay positive. And everybody kept saying, these are amazing. You have to publish a book. You have to put these together. And he did. And it's available on Amazon. And the stories are just wise and heartfelt and moving, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. And he has generously donated. All net proceeds from the book will be going to LAIF, and they will be used as a scholarship for a senior who has shown tremendous positivity or overcome obstacles. So thank you, Dr. Stone. So join us. We're doing our gala again, Friday, February 11th. It'll be at the Grand in Long Beach. Mark your calendars. Come and join us. And if you can't be there in person, we will still be doing fundraising February. Online auction for everybody to participate in. Always looking for business sponsors. And we appreciate how the community has always stepped up and supported through that initiative. And the reason we are fundraising this year is to build the well space at Los Al High School. So that is what all of our fundraising efforts are going toward. And you'll be getting more amazing information in Andrew's presentation about the plans for that space. And with that, I will turn it back over to Dr. Pulver. And thank you for being here. We appreciate all your support.
So thank you, Carrie. It is just our privilege to be able to partner with LAIF. And what the beautiful thing about LAIF is how they can really support all students, all of our schools in a variety of ways. So we're just proud to do that. I do want to share don't be shy with eating. The clinging and the clanging will not bother me. I have a loud voice. I'm from a huge family. I'm one of 15, so the only way we were recognized was to be loud. So I might not even need this mic, but I'm going to use it to make sure everyone in the back can also hear. So just as we begin our program, it's always nice to kind of think back about how we started as a unified school district. This community really had a dream. We were made up of a collection of different school districts, and they really wanted to be able to create a unified focus where our students can really start from preschool, TK, all the way through 12th grade. And so we unified in 1980. We currently have 9,140 students, over 1,000 employees, 9 schools, 3 beautiful communities with one mission: to create the very best educational opportunities for our students. It is really just a privilege to be able to be part of that. To just be part of such a community who, like as I shared earlier, who really rallies behind our kids. I was at Rotary earlier this week, and Tom Stretz was just saying, I've never seen a community who really rallies behind students and our schools and the youth in this community. So I want to just thank all of you for being a part of that. A little bit more about some of our statistics. Technically 9,134 students, close to 9,140. We serve about almost 11% of our students are in special receive special education services. About a little over 16% who are socioeconomically disadvantaged. Just shy of just a little over 2% English learners. But again, you can see a little bit of the demographics that we have. And it's interesting. I was at a board meeting and there was some public comment, and people were sharing, we are not the district that we were 10 years ago. You're right. We're not. And I hope we're not the same district in 10 years. The students that we serve, the families that we serve, we have to constantly keep evolving. And as you'll see, just the student demographics of our district has changed. And we really want to make sure that we can make our classrooms and our spaces that all of our students are seen and heard and valued. And so I really believe that we are going to continue to grow and evolve and represent all the dreams for our students and for our families. And one of the things we talk about is that we really have a big, bold vision. There's so much research out there that really talks about organizations who set big, lofty goals. Sometimes goals you're not always sure that you're going to achieve, but that you achieve more when we set the heights higher and higher. And what that big, bold vision really is, it's about igniting unlimited possibilities. That is our job. That is the reason we wake up, the mission that we have each and every single day. And it's really what our parents want for their kids too. So when we talk about a big, bold vision, we want kids to be seen, to be having a culture of feeling cared about, seen, and valued. We also want them to have any dream is possible, that when they leave us, because obviously this is not their end game, when they leave us from 12th grade, every single door is open to them. And that's really the job that we have. And this community also had, one of the things we constantly talk about, and I can remember hearing one of our show choir teachers who was, when someone came and they were visiting our campus and were national champions 6-7 times or more, and they look at some of the buildings that we have, and they're like, wow. Because our buildings have been aging, but what we always say is, you know what, we're not about the buildings, we're about people. And I think we definitely are in a people business. But this community has rallied behind over two different times, really three when we talk about the Melloroos as well, to tax themselves to help improve our facilities, to make our better facilities and operations for our talented students. And so I wanted to share a little bit with all of you about some of those projects just real quickly. We were fortunate with Measure K and Measure G to be able to open up our pool, our new aquatic center last year in October of 2020. Prior to that, all of our students had to play games away, and this is just a state-of-the-art aquatic center, and I cannot thank the community enough for that. We're looking forward, I know some of you, for our multi-story STEM building. It will be open this coming up school year. So in August, we will be in this STEM building. And when you think about it, it says fall, but I'm like, no, it's August. We'll be ending in the summertime and being able to move all the classrooms in and really getting ready. It is a spectacular building. It will house, it's 83,000, a little above 83,000 square feet. When you think about it, 30 new classrooms that we'll be able to remove, over 26 portables as we do this, and we'd already removed 4 prior during part of this process. If you think about that's like the size of some of our elementary schools. Our elementary school has 30 classrooms, and this is going to be within one building. So I just thought I'd give you some quick images as well of that. So you're just a different vantage point of the multi-story. We love these grand staircases. It'll kind of feel a little bit like Times Square for some of our students at lunchtime as well, if you think about it in that way. We have a CTE classroom for robotics and engineering right outside. It's going to have big roll-up doors as well as possible. We said it was 15 math and 15 science classrooms, so to give you just a quick glimpse of what a chemistry classroom may look like, and even just the corridor inside. These are artist renderings, so that the furniture might not be all the same. But you can see even just within the hallway, little inlets for students to kind of gather and create spaces for them to connect outside of the classroom as well. In addition to a lobby to really welcome our visitors and our families and our parents, a media center sometimes, and we now call it a student center as well, because things are kind of evolving in that process, but really a place for our students to be able to gather in more state of the art. And so we just are so thankful for this process. And if that wasn't enough, now we have more facility needs than we have bond dollars, but we are also beginning to work on building a second gymnasium at Los Alamitos High School. And so we are proud once again to work with West Group, who's helping us meet with all of our various user groups who will be using the second gymnasium. We know it needs to be 3 courts. Is really what our groups are saying they need, so that we can have our students practice at a normal time. What we need is more court space. And then we are looking to begin that construction in 2022-23. So we're very much looking forward to that as well. And our elementary level. This is the newest playground that has just been installed at Lee Elementary. It's so neat to be able to see when it opens up. Some of the students said, "Oh my gosh, it feels like it's Disneyland." You know, and maybe it's the joy of being a kid and the perspective from that. It's the littlest things sometimes that bring us so much joy. Through this process, we've been able to replace 15, and we have 3 more to go, 2 at LAE and 1 more at Weaver. Through this process. We had hoped to have them done in the summer, but there was a fire at the plant. So when they get shipped, we're installing them as they come in. The other thing that we have had a commitment is when the community really agreed to tax themselves once again, we also, they wanted to make sure that we could spend and invest our own dollars to maintain our facilities, so that we never let our facilities get to this aging, deplorable state where we need to resurrect new buildings. And so we have a continued commitment to set aside $1 million in deferred maintenance, which we go through, and part of that's just to do our warranty on our roof, on our slurry of our asphalts, and other projects that come about. At Hopkinson, really, they had asked, particularly through the pandemic, could we add a bit more fencing to allow for more outside learning space and still have the kids protected? So that's just kind of an example there. And over the summer, down at McGaw, as you can imagine, living closer to the beach, you have a lot more erosion and other things. And so we put in more rain gutters to kind of stop some of the lakes in the puddling there. Although I know a lot of our campuses have, you could say Lake Lee or Lake Oak or whatever, depending on the type of rain or weather for that year. Just some key figures. I think people always like to know a little bit about our budget. We are in our general fund about $120 million, a little just north of that. That is a very sizable budget with a big organization. But 98,000, not 98,000. Let's add a few more zeros to that. 98 million is spent on people. And that makes sense because we really are a people business. People are critical in our business, and 82% of our budget, if you think about that, is really just spent on employees to serve and support all of our students. And one of the things that I always say, and I truly believe this, and even I hope you can kind of see that fabric as we were even started off this morning, is that the hallmark of this district really are the people. We would be nothing without all of you. We are so fortunate to have the most amazing students that we get to wake up every single day, and it is our pleasure to be able to serve them. They are so, this community raises such kind, compassionate, and gracious young men and women. And we're so thankful for that. And our staff. I don't know a finer group of staff. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Their dedication, their professionalism, their ability to go above and beyond, to constantly really go out of their way to support kids, to affirm them, to lift them up, to find ways to connect with them. We had staff members when we were closed in March of 2020 who were driving to students' homes, dropping things off on their porch. This group of employees is just second to none, and they are tireless. And they too, and we're going to see this a little bit later, they're parents. They have life going on in their lives as well, and it's busy, but they continue to really show up and do amazing things for our kids. We'd be nothing without them, and I just want to thank our staff. But we'd also be nothing without our parents. Our parents really provide an exceptional amount of support, both financially, both through our encouragement. I can't tell you how much encouragement just being outside and walking to tried to get to many of the tables this morning. The amount of love and encouragement, it really does uplift, and it makes a difference. And then this community, as you were saying, Dr. Patel, it's just this community, our business community, who really rallies behind our youth and makes this partnership amazing. So when we talk about the hallmark of the district, it really is all of you. So thank you. Los Al is a great place to live, learn, and thrive. So when I was talking about our staff, I did want to recognize, I wanted to recognize two of our teachers of the year who we're blessed to be in their presence today, if you think about it in that sense. We had our Janelle Fox, math teacher at Los Alamitos High School. Please stand, Janelle. Chanel is an exceptional teacher and was our teacher of the year for 2020. All the way to the county, she became a semifinalist, and they were supposed to recognize her at a county dinner at the Disneyland Hotel this year, and they canceled it. So we definitely wanted to just recognize Janelle as our teacher of the year. And last year we had the incredible gift to be able to recognize another exceptional teacher of the year for 2021, Miss Corey Alfaro. Corey, please stand. Corey is a teacher at Oak Middle School. She teaches Spanish. She teaches core. She's worked with our EL students, just really exceptional and dedicated. And so I just want to thank all of our exceptional teachers, which we're going to talk a bit more about them later. Additionally, we were so blessed to have so many support staff. Our classified employees are really the employees who aren't in the classroom necessarily teaching, or they don't have a credential like a speech therapist or a counselor or an administrator. But it's our bus drivers, it's our custodians, it's our health nurses, it's our grounds crew, our electrician, etc. And so we have 4 others that I want to recognize. Cassandra Palacios is our classified employee of the year. She was also the Orange County Classified Employee of the Year. She's our LVN at Los Alamitos High School. She's not here with us. She's actually at the high school, but it's really important for us to recognize these exceptional employees. Additionally, we have Russell Mims, who was just a beloved custodian at McAuliffe Middle School. I had the great fortune. I had worked at McAuliffe for 7 years, and Russell is just one of the most gracious, humble, and talk about, leadership can come in all forms, and he's definitely a servant leader. And then we have Linda Lomparko, who's a classified employee at McGaw within our food services department, who just goes above and beyond to serve and to connect with kids in so many different ways. We don't have to be all of the roles that we have. We can find ways to connect and be a champion for our students. And then so proud, and she is here today, to recognize our extraordinary administrator of the year, Miss Evelyn Garcia at Hopkinson. Evelyn actually started off her career working for Life, and then was a teacher in Los Al, and worked at a couple school sites. Some of our younger teachers end up doing, and then is just an extraordinary administrator. So I want to congratulate and thank all of them. But really, through this, we're all just one team. We're one team with one big dream and one vision. And that vision is really to serve and support the dreams that our families, that our parents have for their children. And I love this slide because it really shows what we talk about sometimes about the 4 A's, the academics, athletics, activities, and the arts. And that's really what we're about. Our job as a team is really to serve the dreams that all of you have for your kids here in this community. Every year, our board takes a look, usually in the summer, where we come and we reflect. We spend a whole day workshop with a facilitator to really take a look and assess what should be the priority focus. What are our goals? Because there are a lot of things to be working on. And what I love is that our board continues to try to refine these year after year. And if you'll see, the board priority goals are on the back of your agenda as well. If you wanted to take a little bit more in depth, you don't have to. I'm just letting you know they're there. And we really made some changes this year. But one of the things that we always say is our first goal is to passionately pursue academic excellence from all students. And that's when we talk about equity, it really is about trying to provide that for all students. And additionally, to provide unparalleled preparation for college and career success. That's what we're about. We know that we are not their end game. We're preparing them for life beyond 12th grade. And we also recognize it's extremely important to just create a thriving culture that ensures caring, inclusiveness, equitable, safe, and student-centered environments. That's why we exist. And so sometimes as we take a look at things that come across throughout the year, we have to ground ourselves back in what are we saying are our priorities and that we really stick to them. Do we really believe in an inclusive culture? Do we really believe in a thriving culture that is here to support all students? We do. And then to really foster, this is part of the event that we're here today, is that we foster collaborative relationships and partnerships with our students, with our families, with our staff, and with the community. And then lastly, we have 5 goals. To provide high quality facilities, which you already got a glimpse of in some areas, to meet the educational and instructional needs of our students and staff. That's why we have buildings. The buildings is to meet the needs, the instructional needs and the activities and the social supports of our students and our staff. And then lastly, with that $120 million budget, we have to ensure that, and with the 82% of it that it's going towards staff, we have to ensure that we can manage and allocate financial resources to maximize students' educational opportunities. And that's what we're trying to do here. And so I want to just give a quick, some celebrations about our national caliber results. As a school district, this is on some of these accomplishments, I'd question you to find a district that has that. Because one of the things we say is it's important. Some districts will be really high in one of the 4 A's, and we really are champions in all 4 of the A's. But all of our schools are California Distinguished and Gold Ribbon School Districts. Schools, rather. We have so many of our schools who have been honored with the Blue Ribbon National Award. In fact, we just came back from D.C., where Lee Elementary and Los Alamitos Elementary were awarded the highest award from the nation, a Blue Ribbon School. Let's give it up for Lee and LAE. Do you know that we are the only district in the state of California? There are 325 schools that were recognized across the state. Only school in California, only district in California that had 2 schools recognize the National Blue Ribbon in each of the categories, exemplary high-performing school and for closing the achievement gap. We are one of 4 districts in the U.S. that's been placed on the College Board AP Honor Roll 7 years in a row for increasing access and opportunities through advanced placement courses. We have a comprehensive 5-year PD plan for all of our teachers who are new to Los Al Unified. We consistently rank in the top 2 in the county on state assessments, and we haven't had state assessments since the pandemic. In some small pockets we have. Over 290 Sunset League champions and 20 CIF championships. As I talked about earlier, national awards for our show choir, our song team, softball team, and who could forget our Griffin, our student crowd, and our student, Los Locos, yes, exactly, our student section. I want to just touch base a little bit on some of the elementary highlights as well. I won't be reading all of them, but really our elementary schools, they consistently rank in the top on state assessments. Our elementary teachers are gifted at being able to differentiate instruction. And that's probably one of the most difficult things any teacher can do. And they are tireless at how they differentiate instruction to meet the needs of all of our students. We have systemic and systematic intervention and targeted supports, often through our intervention teachers that are providing that as well. We have even our one-on-one instructional aids. It's amazing to walk into rooms when you see our instructional aides working one-on-one sometimes with an individual token board for students who needed just that additional support, as well as working in small group. And then one of the things we're really proud of, and this is probably an area where we're going to need to continue to invest, but really our wellness counselors and our social emotional learning curriculum that is new this year that we'll talk about a little bit more. At our middle schools, there's too many to highlight, so I'm just going to kind of touch base on the ones that are bold. This STEM pathway is really something that we've heard from our parents. It's an elective that just continues to grow. We're really fortunate to have a 3-year Project Lead the Way pathway. They have a STEM 1, STEM 2, and STEM 3. And then we're also very proud. Something we're embarking upon new this year is a partnership with Stanford University called Challenge Success. We're doing this at our high school as well. And some people, well, what is that? Well, Stanford was really starting to look at, it's one of the elite schools, and students who are coming in probably the highest of their classes, and they weren't happy. They were stressed. They were depressed. And Stanford said, you know what, we got to look at this. And so they're now partnering with numerous school districts across. We actually had to apply to be a part of it. Irvine and Lagoon and some of our other counterparts in Orange County partnered with them. They've surveyed over 250,000 students already. And what they're finding is that our students are stressed. The focus on academics is not everything, that we need to sometimes maybe put pressure off of our students, maybe pause and allow them to go a little bit deeper. And so we are working with teams of parents and students and staff at Oak and McAuliffe and the high school, where some of our students have already taken this pretty long survey. And we really hope that through this process, working with them, that we'll find ways, because as they say, success is measured over the course of a lifetime, not the end of a semester. I love that. And so I was talking with a parent who sent me an email earlier this week. McAuliffe had part of their process is having some teachers shadow a variety of kids their entire day, and I'm sure some of the other school sites will be doing that, whether and all different types of kids. And for this, it's really students get to have, like, finally someone is seeing us and what it looks like to be a middle school kid or a high school kid. And all the buzz I'm hearing from some of our parents after our high school took this survey, the students, oh my gosh, I really hope they listen to how much stress or how much homework we've been assigned, et cetera, and find ways that we can really help take a look at to provide the needs of our students in different ways as well. So we're really proud to be able to partner with them, and really I want to thank our leadership teams, which again is a group of teachers, parents, and students at our school sites. And then where we all land is at Los Alamitos High School. All of our students, I'm a slide ahead, I forgot, I apologize. I wanted to stop and really talk about our well spaces. We partnered with Chalk, Orange County. We partnered with the Orange County Department of Ed to really create middle school well spaces. And then LAIF, who's always looking to partner with us, and particularly mental health has been an initiative of theirs, they partnered with us as well to be able to create. During the pandemic, most districts kind of paused on this. We were the first district to be able to open up 2 well spaces, one at Oak and one at McAuliffe. And there are now only 5 in the county, and that's really because we just kept moving ahead, because we knew from our board that this has been, mental health has been a big need that we've seen from our community, and it really just creates a variety of a space, a calming space for our students, and we need to destigmatize mental health and really take care of our wellness. And I was doing a tour at McAuliffe, and I'm sure the same at Oak, and they just keep telling us that at lunchtime, these well spaces are just crowded, and our students are loving it. It's just a calming space for them to be able to. So I want to thank our partnership with LAIF, Chalk, and Orange County Department of Ed. As we shared earlier, and I will in a minute, that we're also looking to do this at the high school as well. So just some quick highlights at the high school: award-winning art programs, championship athletic programs, over 100 student clubs, and we could say that the same as at our middle schools as well. We have 5 pathways for our students in career technical education. In fact, I think it was yesterday where they had a career fair trade at the high school, so our 5 pathways are listed there. And then coming soon, we're also looking to plan a biomedical pathway for our students. And as you already heard, talking about the challenge success. But we are working to partner to be able to create a well space. Maybe they may call it a well center. Our students get to kind of help name and be a part of that process. At Los Alamitos High School, we hope that it's going to be opening up in the spring of this coming school year. And just to give you a glimpse of where it will be, it'll almost be twice the size than our middle schools. It was an old child development classroom that we're going to repurpose, take a look at. It'll have bathrooms inside of there. Right outside, if you see, was kind of easy to the parking lot, so if there's any evening or after hour therapy sessions or opportunities, that it'll be easy for our parents and our students. So once again, LAIF is really making this their mission and part of the focus of the February fundraiser. So we're excited to be able to bring this to Los Alamitos High School as well. And so just a little bit about our accomplishments. You can see that one of the things we talk about is our A through G data, which is really the requirements that when students complete high school, what they need to be able to get into a 4-year Cal State or UC system. And so what the research says is that students who complete A through G requirements while in high school are twice as likely to graduate from college. We did see a little bit of a dip, as you can see, through the pandemic. Not much, but we did see a little dip in our A through G requirement passage rate. We're at 71%, although I don't know of another high school comprehensive like Los Alamitos High School that has that kind of data. This is where we saw an increase. 89% of our students have completed either an advanced placement course, a career technical education course, or a dual enrollment course. And what this is really doing is helping them prepare for when they leave us as well. The rigor of our students' high school curriculum is one of the single best predictions of college and career success. And as, of course, through the pandemic, this is where we saw a little bit of a dip as well. One of our goals that we've always had is to connect students. Most kids, not every kid wakes up in the morning and says, oh my gosh, I can't wait for chemistry today. That's going to get me out of bed and shower and eat breakfast so I can get, for some it will, absolutely. And for engineering and others it will. But for others, it might be being in show choir, in our jazz band. It might be for being in our drama production, or even behind the scenes of our drama, or obviously in our athletics and our performing arts. And so really important to have kids connected to school. It's also a caring adult that they become connected to, and we're going to take a look about later in our presentation, the importance of having kids connected to a caring adult. But it starts with a dream. I think any dream starts with a belief. We have to believe that things are possible for kids and for one another. And we really believe that we are dream makers, that we must help students develop dreams and a belief that they can achieve them. Working on building students' self-efficacy, their own belief that they can do something, that they can be successful, that they can rise to the occasion is paramount. And sometimes what we're really focused on is believing in all kids. 100% has to be the goal. What we would want for your kid, for our kids, is what we should want for your kid. Every kid should be able to have access and opportunities, and then let them choose. And sometimes I think it's really important. One of the things we say is believe in kids even if they don't believe in themselves. Because guess what? It might be contagious. They might actually come to that. And so I want to share a little bit of a story about that today. I want to give you an opportunity we're going to spend to meet Jeremy Anderson. This is a wonderful story where really talking about the power of the impact that an adult or a group of adults, teachers, etc., can have on a student when they believe in them. When they knock down walls, and he's going to talk about how do you knock down walls that we naturally build up? With love. How do you knock down walls? With perseverance. How do you knock down walls? With unwavering commitment and support. And when I think about our staff, that is exactly what they do each and every single day. So it's a very long clip that we've tried to condense, so I want to give you a little bit of a background about Jeremy's story. Jeremy, he's now a motivational speaker, but he talks about really growing up in a dark time. He is, I think his mother had him when she was 16 years old. He'd never met his biological father. He never did well in school. He says they had a history of, at times, of drug abuse and alcohol abuse. He repeated the 7th grade. In 8th grade, I'm going to get emotional. He's at a parent conference, and he overhears a teacher telling his mother, I don't think he's high school material. And he said, I just can't believe that. I've heard some people say, you're not college material, that everyone has different paths. But to tell a kid that you're not high school material is just defeating. And, it's interesting. We were reading an article yesterday with a group of our administrators, and there was a quote that really resonated with me. And it says, if we treat people like they are broken, they're going to respond that way. If we treat people like they are failures, like it's not possible, they might just respond that way. But the story ends better because he did have a turning point. And the video is going to cue up. He is in the 8th grade year. I think it's the end of his 8th grade year. And he has all F's and 1 C. And he just can't fathom to bring this down report card back home to his mother. So he got creative. He went to one of the media centers, changed the F's and the C's, got really with a ruler and with dots, and magically he has 4 A's and I think 2 B's. And then he made a photocopy of it to make it look a little bit more legit and brought it home to mom. And I'm going to take it away, let you hear the rest of Jeremy's story from there.
But at the end of that summer when my real report card came in, it was really rough. I'll never forget, when I first tricked my mom and she saw it, she was like, I'm so proud of you. She started crying. I even got emotional. I was like, I told you, Mom, I'm gonna make you proud. She hugging me, I'm hugging her. We got a breakthrough. And you're probably wondering, Jeremy, why were you crying? You didn't really earn all A's and 2 B's. Well, for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like a failure. I actually felt successful, worthy, I felt like I was good enough. And so that was a bit of an emotional moment. But it wasn't real because I didn't really earn those grades. Now, when my school sent my river report card home and my mom saw it, she was in denial. My baby made A's and B's. So she called the school. I was like, oh, hang up the phone, mama, hang up the phone. And again, she's in tears. But now what was once tears of joy, now it's tears of sorrow, tears of pain, tears of frustration. And she's trying to figure out, like, I wish my baby would just get it together, and I was so hurt, but I felt stuck. I was depressed. I was tired. I was struggling. I felt like I was an accident. Like, what's the purpose of life? Like, why am I here? You know, I felt like I couldn't fit in. When it was time to read, I didn't want to read because somebody was going to tease me because I wasn't a good reader. We was always getting into fights. People was bullying me. Then there was a time when I was the bully. Like, I just struggled, and I was like, what's the point of it all? And my mom's a great mom, so she moved me to another school. So now I'm at the school now called Huntsville High. This is my third school for the 9th grade. Now I'm at this new school, and I don't know how to explain it to you, but I got a group of teachers, I felt like they were weird. They were saying stuff like, Jeremy, we believe in you. I'm like, me? One teacher was like, oh yeah, Jeremy Anderson, up top my man, this is gonna be the best year ever. I'm like, okay. One teacher, I had to ask him, I was like, wait a second, y'all are way too enthusiastic. Did y'all get my transcripts? Like, y'all got the right Jeremy? They was like, yep, we got the right Jeremy, but you're in a new season now. So you don't have to worry about the past. I was like, yeah, but you do know about last year. Yep. I said, you know, this is my third school. They was like, we're not worried about that again, Jeremy. You're in a new season now. So let's not bring old things into a new season. And they began to speak life to me. They began to encourage me. They began to affirm me. And because I was young and I was immature, I kind of felt like, well, you don't really understand my story. You don't come from where I come from. And I'll try to build a wall up. But you know what knocked that wall down? It's love. You know what knocked that wall down? It was perseverance. You know what knocked that wall down? It was like unwavering commitment and support. And I realized you can be black, white, purple, blue, green. We need each other. And if you're showing up because you believe in me and you see great things inside me, like maybe, just maybe I can do great things. Your mindset, your belief system is everything. And it is so powerful. And so I came all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to tell you, you were not a mistake. You were not an accident. You were here for a reason. I know you're going through some hard times. I know life at times might feel rough, or you might feel weird, or things might be frustrating, but it's not going to always be like this. Your condition is not your conclusion. There is so much more that's going to take place. There is so much more power that's inside you. If you make up in your mind, I choose to believe that I can do great things. And I promise you, my young friends, I got to a point in life when I was like, man, I got these teachers, they must really care. Like when you start having teachers that get diagnosed with cancer, but they still show up to school. One of my teachers had arthritis so bad, she couldn't even write on the chalkboard. Other teacher was going through a divorce. Another one that just buried her child. I'm looking at all these teachers that's going through life just like you, just like me, but they kept showing up. So something inside my brain said, maybe I am worth it. Something inside me said, maybe I can do great things. For them to jump through all these hoops and go out of their way to kind of connect with me, for them to make these sacrifices, maybe it is possible for me. It's the same way with you. We're going to figure this thing out together. There's something beautiful about us having that mindset of us being together. You know what I'm saying? Not black, white, Asian, Hispanic, not Republican, Democrat, independent, not gay or straight, not like male or female, like us coming together saying, man, we are human, we are here. And I believe that there is more that makes us together. There is more than we have in common than we have that's not in common. And I believe that our differences is what makes us so doggone amazing. Our differences. Think about that, right? Like there is so many amazing things, and there are so many different amazing personalities, and there is nobody else on this planet exactly like you. So I believe then we make a decision to say, you know what, we will come together as a people. We will come together as a nation. We will come together as a state. We will come together as a city. We will come together as a district. We will come together as a school. We will come together as a grade. We will come together as a class, and we will value each other. We will speak life to one another, and we will help each other go to that next level.
It's hard not to be inspired and to be moved by that. And I think there are so many things that we could unpack, and we would be here for much longer. But there are certain comments that he states that really just resonates with me. And it's about this new season. And that I think of this with the pandemic. And that we don't necessarily always bring the old things into the new. When we take a look at what second grade maybe was prior, we've got to abandon that for now. We're in a new season and really maybe rebench that. When he talks about the difference of people showing up and our teachers who have been diagnosed with cancer or the different challenges that they have, we have that here. Our teachers continue, and our staff in all of our positions continue to show up for our kids and believe in them and what a difference that can make and be a champion for them. And so Jeremy's story just really reminds us that every single child belongs to all of us. And what we hear, probably even more this year than any, from our teachers, from our counselors, from our parents, is that believing in students is even more paramount. That it is our kids, they only get one shot at second grade. They get one chance at 8th grade. And so we have to do everything we can to support them. We must speak life to them, encourage them, and lift them up, affirm them. And I love this quote right here, that for us to be able to really touch the minds of students, we have to pass through the heart first. And that is so true. And I think when we do that, we really make an impact on behalf of our students. And so as we were in this new season, this past few, and I think we're going to be in a new season for several years to come, that next year is going to be completely different than this year, and we're going to have to just constantly take a look at what this new season is. But as we've been emerging in this new season the past few years, our board also really wanted to take a look at, we're in novel situations, as you can see at times. And so we thought, in addition to having our priority goals, it's important for us to ground ourselves in what we think are core values. And so for the first time, obviously on our website, we have a mission statement, our vision, and our belief statements, et cetera. But we really focused in taking some time over the summer, or what are our core values? So when new things come up, does it align to the core values that we have? And the first core value that we have is really about care. It's about, we want to foster a culture of kindness so that everyone is treated with dignity and respect, and individuals seek to understand each point of view. One of the things I was so overwhelmed with at our graduation and our promotion ceremonies this last June was that every student speaker talked, literally every one of them, about the importance of being kind and the difference of being kind to kids and kindness to one another. That is one of the greatest gifts we can give one another. That we hold ourselves as part of our core value. We are responsible. And even when we make mistakes, we hold ourselves responsible. But we are responsible to consistently maintaining a clear focus on these goals, on our core values, and to serving the needs of our students and our families. That's why we exist. And equity. You're right, maybe we're not the same district that we were 10 years ago. This is a focus and a core value of ours. The board did not waver when in challenging times, and the Human Relations Committee that we've had has really become part of our fabric now in who we are. Listening to our students' voices for over a year and a half, who say that they want to see themselves more and more within their classroom, within their curriculum. They asked, could you create an elective ethnic studies class? And we did. And for those students who are enrolled in that class, many of them say it's their most favorite class. For them, it's as favorite for them as for the show choir student who's their favorite class is show choir. And so we continue as things pop up, we want to ground ourselves back in this. And equity is also really about wanting access and opportunities for all students. And so we meet the needs, or we strive to meet the needs of all students through systems, structures, and opportunities that promote access, and we value the similarities and the differences in all individuals. And it's just this unwavering commitment that I think just is personified by every single staff member. It's just this unwavering commitment that we're committed to student success and to partnering with our families. I can read it better up here. Through collaboration, reflection, and a focus on continuous improvement. I know we're going to be better tomorrow than we are today, and that's really kind of the ongoing focus that we have. And so I love this concept of a new season. And so as our schools closed in March, and then we got to reimagine, we were a little bit limited in how we could reimagine by some of the conditions that were going on and the limitations established by the state. But last school year, I don't know of another public school that opened up first. We were the first school district to open up, and it wasn't a race to be first. It was really trying to be responsive to the needs that we heard from our families. And we could not have done that without partnering with our staff. Our teachers, the only time you could have applied for a waiver was at elementary. We met with our elementary teachers. They wanted to be in person as well. They supported this. We partnered with them, and it just continues to show this unwavering commitment to our students. We actually pulled our calendar back 3 weeks, and I think that early foresight really allowed us to maximize in-person opportunities for our students. I can remember talking to a parent who said, Dr. Pulver, my child, when we were closed from March all the way until the start of the school year, he developed a tic. He had never had this tic before. And within 2 days of starting school, she said the tic was gone. We have no idea how the impact that this has had on some of our students. But I'm also really proud that that wasn't the only option we provided our families. We had families who were very concerned about coming to school in person for a variety of reasons. And so I don't know of another district who really created a separate program, what we called LoSal at Home. And that was a master schedule nightmare, but our staff really made that happen. We also afforded our community and our parents the opportunity to make a change at the second semester as well. And I think by the second semester, we were able to accomplish all of that. But when I talk about our teachers showing up and the magic that they continue to do, I wish you could have been in their rooms last year. This unwavering focus, but also still trying to make learning fun. Walking into, not only were some of our teachers teaching in person, they had a video camera in their room to be able to teach to the students who were quarantining. They had a headphone set on so that the students who were at home when quarantined, or perhaps some who were doing the online, could listen to be engaged in the class. It's like a symphony orchestra. I remember going into our French class, and not only did she have that, she had speakers set up, and when the students from home were participating, the whole class could hear the students participating. It was as if they were right in that room with them. That is how our staff continues to show up and be connected for our students. We were the first district in Orange County to open up athletics because, again, it's not about being first. What we heard from parents is that our students needed life. They needed to be able to have connections outside of this, and it was the one thing that they felt really connected to. We continue to offer exemplary art programs. Our art teachers, our performing arts teachers were amazing. They thought out of the box. They created virtual performances. Our students were performing from their homes, from their backyard, from their classroom, and then trying to put that all together in a video and a production. Our kids really were able to take a look and see at that. We reimagined student opportunities to continue to focus on school connections. Our principals baked and cooked at home with teachers. We provided virtual clubs. We provided virtual performances. We partnered with RHA, so dance and show choir, I believe, and they did a drive-in performance at the shops at Rossmore. We just had to keep reimagining how we can show up and connect for our kids. There's a plethora of others, but I know we're running out of time. Our preschool and our childcare remained open. Imagine, some people didn't think it was possible. We actually had a virtual preschool classroom as well, where our preschool kids were on, if they didn't feel confident and comfortable to come into school, that they had a virtual program. Our daycare centers never closed. I think we are the only district back in March who kept our daycare centers open for our families, particularly the emergency healthcare workers, et cetera, who needed someone to take care of their kids while they were taking care of all of us. And we serve free meals to all students. We offered robust summer school offerings. And one of the things we made sure that our condition last year was not our conclusion. And as we take a look at this year, it's the same. And while we're in a new season this year, we continue to find ways to really maximize opportunities for students to be able to return fully in person. But even with that, there have been restrictions upon us. And we just continue to find ways to think out of the box and to connect our students. We resumed busing for our students. We doubled our wellness counselors and our additional mental health practitioners. We were that first day of school, I can't tell you the joy that it brought to all of us who work with kids. To finally see our parents and our community back on our campuses. It felt like the opening day of Disneyland, quite honestly. It was that euphoric for me. And I know some parents are a little bit scared. Whoa, that's a lot of people. But we got through this together. But we were so proud to be able to welcome all of you back onto our campuses. We were the only district at that time who really welcomed our parent volunteers back. And there were some guidelines and criteria that we had to meet to make that possible. There are some who still haven't made that possible. And all of you who are volunteers, you make a difference. And our teachers and our staff know the power and the impact that it has on behalf of all of our students. We're providing free tutoring. It's online through paper in just about every subject matter that we offer. But in addition, our teachers at the high school are providing free tutoring as well. And they have a whole spreadsheet of all the different opportunities for tutoring. And we continue to serve free meals. But what I love is we're also trying to reimagine opportunities. How can we, one of the things that kids missed are the connections, are the field trips, are the opportunities to do OSS. Last year we did OSS in a box because we tried to make sure that kids didn't miss out on that. This year we had to find a new camp just to ensure that we could get every single fifth grader to go to OSS. We're able to take our students to overnight field trips. We're able to take them to the Reno Jazz Festival, to Florida for Song and Cheer, to I don't know if it's Nashville or New York this year for our show choir. So we continue when I think about our clubs, at our elementary school, one of the things that they love is the Growing Up STEM Club, which is our chemistry and science teachers at the high school. We couldn't do that. And to have our students come back onto our campuses, we will continue to find ways to show up for your students, to show up for our kids, and we're going to continue to make the dreams possible. Because let me tell you, this pandemic, our condition, it is not our conclusion either. And so what I think really makes this such a unique place is to really celebrate that it is our differences that makes us amazing. And in this community, the same differences that makes us amazing, it's the similarities that makes anything possible. When I think about this, great example of that is how we partnered with RHA when something was going to be stripped away from our seniors, the concept of a graduation. And RHA stepped up and they partnered with us to be able to provide what now is probably just a new benchmark each and every single year, and that is our senior car parade. And so new great things can come out of these new births, and that really is a testament because of the amazing community and where really we can make things possible for all of our kids. And so as we've I hope you hear kind of the theme today, one of the themes is that we need all of us to be a champion for students. Dreaming and believing is essential in our kids, but it's not enough. How we act, how we behave is evidence of our love and our perseverance. And let me tell you, our kids are watching. They are watching how we act. I really believe that people and adults, they model our affect. And if you think about it, I think, Andre was reminding me of the song from Hamilton, history has its eyes on us. And I think that's so true right now. History has its eyes on us and how and through our actions, how we are treating one another and how we treat kids, they're watching us. And that's our job to knock down those walls. We knock down walls with love. We knock down walls with just unrelenting perseverance. and unwavering commitment and support. And so one of the things we say as part of the LOSAL way is that we focus on every student every single day. And you've probably heard me, if you've been to one of these before, say that we really need to run towards the students that need us most. Annie Allen, principal, who used to be retired now, principal at McAuliffe, that was really a saying that she said that just became, for me, infused in the fabric of what we are. And I can remember talking about it before the pandemic, is that our teachers and our staff and all of us who work on behalf of your students and your kids, that we are like the first responders for them. Like when there's a fire going on, most of us run out of the building, and yet the firefighters go into the building. Well, that's what our teachers and our staff are doing every single day for our students. And it's interesting, through this pandemic where we've said to them, we are essential workers, and they keep showing up for our kids. And so we really do run towards those that need us the most. But it can't just be on them, and it can't just be on me. It really takes all of us. We know that research, and I love this quote from Josh Shipp, that every kid is one adult away from a success story. Jeremy proved that as well. And so I just want to thank all of you for showing up. This pandemic, it is not our conclusion. I can assure you of that. We'll be going through a series of new seasons for sure. But just the sheer fact that you have shown up today, that you continue to show up for our kids, and that you believe in our kids, that you help us affirm them, is really going to make all of the difference. Because together, we can do amazing work on behalf of our students. So on behalf of our Board of Education, I just want to thank you for this morning, spending the time to be part of us, to learn a little bit more about some of our highlights, but I hope also to really be moved in a way to really continue to believe in our students, help us believe in our students, that great things are possible for all of them.